Welcome to the Love Notes Salon. I'm Cynthia Gregory, the producer, publisher, editor of the Love Notes 2.0 anthology. And today we're here with Love Notes author Dr. Anna van Heeckeren, who wrote the chapter Because Pets Are Family. Love your story so much in this book.
Thank you.
And when I got your manuscript and I saw that it started with you as a child in a pen full of puppies, I knew we had a winner.
Thank you.
Super, super fun and really nice to have your voice in the book. I feel that way about all of our authors. I really feel that every voice is very special and contributes to this body of work that is so magnificent. What was it like for you to be publishing your personal story publicly like this?
So I don't know that I would say that it changed me per se. I
Mm,
would say more, I mean, and the reason why I say that is I've actually published. Now, you said my personal story. So I have published in scientific manuscripts and peer reviewed. So that's a very different process
yes.
than even the blog posts that I've written, and they've shown up in local publications, which is great. I love doing that. But this time I shared a little bit more of my story. So I actually have a story of myself on our website, but this time's in a different way. So you can enjoy that story on our website, but it really showed me that we each have our own paths. We each bring something to the table. I come from a scientific background. Everybody else came from a different background, but we all took what we learned in our life journey and we made it happen.
That's exactly right. I marvel at the point when I think it's one idea, it's a single idea. How are you creating a more compassionate world? And we have 28 versions of that, which is
Yeah.
just so charming. Did you learn anything about yourself in this experience?
Oh, about myself. Well, I've been through years of therapy, so I, I've already learned a lot about myself and why I think the way that I do and why I behave the way I behave. Like I said before, the different experiences that we bring to the table, this is a new mix of people for me. I don't often talk to people who have these different experiences, belief systems, worldviews.
Hmm.
And so what I got out of it was I've experienced so many unique twists and turns in my life. I'm told that any one of them could have shut other people down for life, which is kind of like, why? Because that's not how I was raised. You pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you move forward. So did I learn anything specific about this? I think what I really learned was there's people like you who can help bring out a story in just about anyone. I mean, I'm not saying that you haven't been able to touch certain people, but what I'm saying is that I would never have been able to think about what's the next step because I've always wanted to write my own story because it is unique. And I think I have something to share with people who have different kinds of trauma and how you can get through it.
Absolutely. And that's it, right? It's that resilience. It's that spark of life that each of us
Yeah.
bring. You have such an interesting story, and I can't wait to see that book in print. I read something recently that said something like your story is somebody else's survival guide, and that's a
Right.
good motivation to want to share your story that
Yeah.
because other people can learn from it. What do you want people to take away from your story after reading it in the Love Notes?
When I was thinking about what do I want people to take away from it, well, first, I do go into like a tiny bit of my trauma, and I want everyone to know that there's always a path forward. You need to take the time to acknowledge your feelings about a
Mhm.
traumatic event. You need someone like a professional to help you with
Yes.
that because trying to process your feelings by yourself doesn't always work. And I always thought that if I talk about it, that was sufficient. No, 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 no. If you talk about it and you don't address your feelings, you'll feel it in your body. It will come out in behaviors that are unexpected. What I really want to do is to make sure that people know that there is a path out there. Go with your gut
Yeah.
with the right people.
Oh,
So sometimes you'll say, well, this seems really great, but the people, go with the people. Always go with the people. So that's not necessarily a lesson that you might read in that section of my story, but in terms of the story, pets give us joy when people can sometimes not be there for us. So if we're feeling sad and we have people around us who aren't able to give us the space we need to heal, pets are there for us, and that's why pets are family.
I know that for sure. I've got
Yeah.
my two little companions right beside me here. They're in the
Aw.
room. You say that so eloquently, and you have the experience to back it up. And then having a language to describe that lived experience is what we get through therapy.
Yeah.
That's what I have found. At a certain point, I went, oh my gosh, now I have a language to describe
Right.
the way I've been feeling. And if I hadn't had that outside help, I never would have reached that point. I would have just kept spinning in my own mind. So.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, the one phrase that I told my therapist was, I feel like an emotional invalid.
Oh,
I really did. I was able to speak that. It's one of those things that pops out and it kind of surprises you.
yeah, I love that.
So,
That's
yeah,
spontaneous. Yeah, that wisdom will find its way out if
right.
given the opportunity.
Yeah, and you have to work at it. You have to it's a process and you have to
Yes.
grow and you have to surround yourself with people who will allow you to grow.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Yes, absolutely. Would you like to read from your chapter for us?
Of course, I've got it right
Yay!
here. So I'm going to start from the beginning because the end is where I am right now, which is the founder, president, CEO of a nonprofit that I founded in 2008. It's called One Health Organization, but this is how my path in life got started.
Mm,
I've loved animals forever. One of my earliest memories as a little girl is sitting in a whelping pen, enjoying the pile of black and yellow Labrador puppies that climbed all over me. It was pure joy. I inherited this passion from my mom, who collected many types of animals. They were an integral part of my life growing up, and I actively took part in their care. Those early experiences taught me the joys, the challenges, and responsibilities of living with and caring for animals. Alongside my mother's influence, my dad also helped shape my career path in a different but equally important way. He was a cardiothoracic surgeon, and his dedication to medicine inspired my own commitment to healing. I chose to focus on helping animals, much to my father's chagrin. He thought I'd be good at human medicine when I helped put his shoulder back in place after he dislocated it during a sailboat race. With a love of animals and a commitment to helping them through medical care, I was driven to become a veterinarian. And that's the beginning of my story.
your story is so fabulous. It really is. And it's got twists and turns. And it was one of those unexpected twists that brought you to veterinary medicine. So people will have to read the book and find out how that story, what goes in the middle of that story is so much fun. And we're going to put contact information so that if someone, for instance, loves animals and wants to contribute to One Health organization, they can do that. And they can also find probably ways to contact you if they have questions about care for the animals in their world, when you might be able to point out some resources to them.
Right, absolutely. I focus on dogs and cats. Even though I love all animals, there's only so many species we can focus on at any one time.
I
So,
love that. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Anna.